Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a makeup look really inspired by the dark feminine. So I'm really thinking of like vampy lips, vampire kind of colors like dark reds, kind of glossy dark cherries, and also the eyes being inspired by that siren eye trend that went around a while back. So sultry, a little bit elongated, but not like too dark or weighed down. So it's got these kind of competing elements of like dark and light. So the deep, rich colors complemented by like glow and gloss and sparkle. And it's also a full moon. So I feel like this is really the energy to tap into today, the harvest moon. So I am so here for this kind of vibe. And yeah, if that sounds like something you're interested in, keep on watching. Let's start with some glow. I'm going to use this Danessa Myricks like serum glow product. It's pretty light. It wears nicely under foundation, but provides just like a really hydrated base. Great for wearing under full coverage, in particular a matte full coverage. I will go in with a full coverage foundation, the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I want to get the skin just really even, really brightened. In general, when I'm wearing any kind of heavy elements in my makeup, whether it's eyeshadow, dark lip, or anything that feels like it's at odds with my kind of lighter coloring, having the full coverage is just going to help make it feel all the more wearable. Oh shoot, I forgot I was going to try out a sponge today. I always use brushes, but the other day I was like, should I give sponges another try again? Maybe I'll use it for some concealer. Sometimes when people use sponges, it seems to like really make things look so nice and hydrated and blended. But every time I've tried a sponge, I was not a fan. But it's been a while now. I'm gonna use a brightening concealer now. I'm gonna give this one from Rituel to Fille another go on top of foundation. If you saw that video. This is definitely quite pale for me, so that's why it's gonna be good for brightening rather than concealing blemishes. I'm gonna put that under the eye, center of the face, basically below where any contour or blush would go. I always like brightening there. Above the brow. Just kind of this shape. Anywhere where there isn't kind of blush or contour, I'll like push the face forward. Shall I try this? I don't know. No, I don't like it. Why do I hate sponges so much? Okay, no, let's give it a chance. I'm going to try and blend this all out with a sponge. This is slightly dampened. I have no idea. I just find it doesn't blend very nicely. No, can't do it, guys. Sorry. I'm just going to go back in with my brush. I guess my problem with sponges is that it's like kind of like you pick up some of the product on it, and then as you move it around, it kind of doesn't do it as evenly as like the bristles, like getting all into the bristles. It's more like it sits on top of the sponge. Okay, this base is really bright, definitely giving vampire. I'm gonna contour. I'm gonna use a pretty cool one under my jawline from Sephora. It's so cool, I don't really like using it on my face. So on my actual face, I'll go with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour wand. So just like a really thin, barely there line. Whenever you're doing an under jaw contour, just kind of really make sure you're blending it out. Otherwise, you're going to have this line that is very visible in the daylight. Then I'm going to go straight onto this brush. I'm almost done this. I've almost panned this. This has been my favorite contour. Just get it under the cheekbone. Sinking a little bit, trying to get a little bit of sort of sultry contour happening. I just find this contour shade's really great for fair people, and it's not too cool. It's like this perfect in between. For brows, I'm gonna go in with this brow duo, but I'm gonna lean completely into this darker part of it. I usually combine them. I think with a vampire look, it can be nice to have a bit of a darker brow. But I've been trying to keep my brows a little bit thinner by sort of taking away some of the hairs there and there. Just something I'm trying out. I find personally on myself I like a thinner brow, but they can be hard to maintain, right? And sometimes I think of those like really skinny brows being very kind of 90s and slightly gothic. And this is by no means one of those skinny arched brows, but I do my best. I also like how taking away a few of the hairs down here kind of opens up the eye even more, just more room to play with eyeshadow. And using the Benefit brow gel to really set them into place, keep them contained. Basically trying to streamline them, all the brow hairs, into a thinner shape. At this point, I'm going to go in with the lips. I've been doing this a lot lately on my channel, and it's something I really stick by when I'm doing either a dark lip, a bright lip, bold lip, whatever it is. Whenever you start with the lip, you can really tailor the rest of the look around it. So, if you want the lip to be the focus, you can build everything else around it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna start with the Makeup Forever liner in Limitless Brown and go pretty heavy-handed with lining the lips today. Also, sorry if there's frickin' flies flying past the camera every 2 seconds. It's that time of year, They're on their last hurrah. An overline, and using the side of the pencil so it creates a bit of a gradient into the lip. And I always use my pinky finger to blend the lip line if I'm doing the lip line first. And just adding that extra depth into the line itself. I'm gonna use Velvet Cinnabar from Lisa Eldridge. It's like a warm, rich red, and I'm gonna get that in the center of the lip. Since I have this in front of me too, I'm gonna take Hemlock from Melt and just dab a little bit of that into the edges. This is a lot darker. This is kind of like what I'm using as my blending tool between the 2 shades. I'm liking this lip tone. It's definitely giving vampire. So now I have this very dark lip. As it is where I am with my makeup right now, it's just like drawing in a lot of attention. So to add some levity to it, gonna go in with some gloss. It basically what that does is it bounces light off your face, so it does less of a pulling effect the way a dark shade does, and just adds a little bit more like what a bright shade would do, reflection. So I'm gonna try first from Fenty this Gloss Bomb Sticks in Riri. It's a mauve, so I'm curious how it might layer on top. And it's not too glossy, it's more like a glossy balm. Kind of using this as well to just like create a blend. Okay, so for the blush, I'm considering 2 different ways right now of where to go with this. A lot of the time I tend to like use the similar tones as what's going on with the lip or the eyes. But what if today I did something more like peachy so that it adds that more feminine flair to this dark lip. But then I was also thinking just going full force with like these richer reds and using like a red blush. I'm so torn. You know what? This one's calling my name today. This is from Rituel de Fille. It's the shade Nymph. It's not dark like this, so I think it's gonna do a little bit of both, like leaning in to that rich, vampy feel while also being a little bit lighter and like bringing some pickup into the complexion. This is quite a pigmented formula. I broke it, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit on my brush, then to the back of my hand before building it up. I mean, that's actually quite bright. It's really not that vampy, so I like this. I like how it's going with like the very brightened skin. And it just has a touch more impact than what like a pink or a peach might have. And I'm bringing this shade up to the cheekbone. I don't think I want to do any bronzer today. Just keeping it with contour and blush feels appropriate. Okay, ooh, I like that. Now I'm gonna take from NARS this powder. It has a little bit of pigment to it. It's quite bright actually, but I do really like the way it blurs. And for now, I'm going to keep most of the skin matte. Decide at the end if I want to add a highlighter. I changed my mind about the highlighter. After I put the powder on, I noticed like I'm having a sticky situation with this area here. I feel like with all the brightening concealers on, you're not going to be able to tell on camera because the light's really bouncing off my face. But after using that sponge, it got a little there. And when that happens, I find putting a highlighter on top can actually just help. For some reason, you might think it would be the opposite because it's just going to detract away from the little situation happening. And by situation, I mean just like really seeing the product on my face. So I'm going in with my favorite silver highlight, which is the Rare Beauty Enlighten. Feathering it up to the brow, above the brow even. I'm going to go in with the Melt Liquid Eyeshadow Base, the white one. I don't want it to look like pure white, so just putting a bit of it there and then blending. I feel like the white is just gonna give that nod once again to like this very gothic color story and energy I'm looking for. I'm just diffusing it up to the brow bone. It's giving like gothic 90s right now, which I'm here for. Now I'm going to go in with the Black Orb Kohl Liner from Rituel, but the red one. This is the shade Iron. I'm going to use this to start sketching out a wing before I maybe darken it with like a dark brown. But for now, I just want to get like this base of something red. And I find this liner in general is just really easy to use. It's creamy, easy to correct, so it's a good formula for starting to sketch something out. I'm going to get into the lash line all the way from the inner corner. And we're thinking about creating a longer eye rather than like a rounder kind of cute eye. I want it to extend my eyes. So starting at the inner corner helps with that. And looking forward into a mirror. So I want to see if I create a wing that kind of goes more straight rather than like lifting up. And this way I can kind of skip a little bit lower down past any creasing or hooding in my eye. Okay, I have these two dark red longish wings. I'm going to use the same pencil I used on my lips to add a little bit more depth, in particular to the outer corners. And just like using this to really get into the lash line, maybe even between the actual lashes a bit. And then using the brush to blend it over the red I have. I just don't want it to look pure red. I just want it to have that kind of base of it. Now I want to soften this up, add a little bit of shimmer and shading to it so it's a bit less intensely like vampy on the eyes. I'm gonna bust out, or at least I'm gonna see how this might work, this Naked palette from Urban Decay. They re-released their OG Naked palette and sent it my way. I'm really excited. I'm gonna start by going in with this shade here and using that to create more depth in the eye. Firstly, I'm gonna squint my eyes like this and place some shading right under here. And it's gonna look quite intense before the mascara, but basically creating a little bit more of that sort of baggy eye, sultry eye taking that same shade, and I'm gonna bounce it on top of these wings, in particular around here, creating a little bit of an effect that this is just a touch softer, and then getting it into the crease a little bit. Connecting the end of it to the end of the wing. I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer to this look. Going in with this Sigma palette, the new mod, this shimmer here. And what I'm going to do is go in with a glitter glue and a brush and just pat that on top of the wing area. So a little bit here, because I don't want to put this all over the lid. Then I'm going to go in with the brush, tap off any excess, just pat that shimmer into this area. So it's doing a little bit of shading because it's a little bit darker. And that's why I don't want to get it all over the lid. Then I'm interested to try this shimmer from the Naked palette. Let's take a little bit of that and let's go, kind of a little bit more in than that darker shimmer. But still not getting it like all over the eyelid. I'm keeping it in this shape that's contributing to that length. And then why not add some white into the waterline? Lastly, I'm going to take a bit of concealer, just clean up this edge, just to create a more sense of that lengthening. Okay, I'm gonna pop off camera and do that same thing on the other eye, a little bit of shimmer, and do some lashes. Just mascara on the upper and lower lash and a little kind of quarter lash on the edges, once again, to create this effect. And we'll see how this has all come together. And this is the finished makeup look. I'm really liking it. I feel like it's giving a little bit 90s, a little bit kind of vampire. There's like a play of cool and warm tones. Yeah, I think it's just like really fun look. I'm feeling very dark feminine for sure. I think the key to achieving that is really this play of dark and light, and you can do that with a lot of colors for sure, but like going for that richer, darker tones on the lips and like smoking it on the lash line, kind of can't go wrong. Yeah, I can see myself busting out versions of this on the everyday that is a little bit less intense, but borrowing a lot from this look. A deeper lip, not quite as vampy as this, and then the sort of lengthening along the lash line, keeping this part of the eye open, the more skinny brow. Let me know in the comments down below what colors, what palettes, whatever you like to use to summon any kind of like dark, feminine, vampy makeup looks. I'd love to know. And yeah, that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. What are your thoughts on this makeup look, Toast? He's practically asleep right now. Oh my God, such a cutie. Well, anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Really helps support the channel. So if you want to like, comment, and subscribe, it means a lot. And until next time, may you find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.